Yo, what's up, world? Welcome to my channel, Jaivyon Speaks, where we talk about healing through our traumas, overcoming people pleasing tendencies, reconnecting with our inner child, and overall self improvement. Here, we are strictly committed to taking our power back by one, holding ourselves accountable, two, healing, and three, living a fulfilled life that's in alignment with our most authentic selves. So, if that sound like a place for you or someone you may know, subscribe, share, hit the bell so you're notified every single time that I upload a video. With that being said, y'all, today's video topic is on boundaries as it pertains to saying no. And one of the main things that I had struggled with through my life was saying no, setting that boundary of saying no and being okay with my no. Like it wasn't until I got a little bit older where I started to realize that the way that I had conditioned myself to be was very unhealthy and it was centered around people pleasing, right? So I just thought that that was the right thing to do. I thought that it made me a good person. I thought that it made me a nice person, a kind person. I thought that all of these things were valid. All of these things that you may do for people, they can be good in a sense, but anything that's done in excess or not in moderation can become a problem, right? So when it comes to not being able to say no, one of the main struggles that kept me from being okay with my no was feeling like I needed to have permission for my no. I needed for someone to tell me, like I needed to be told that it was okay to say no, right? And not being able to say no is like this. Like not having boundaries around your no is like basically leaving your resources up for grabs without any boundaries in place. So people start to feel like, or you condition people to feel like whatever you have is theirs, or that you cannot say no because you've always said yes. And then if you say no, finally, then people start to have like this entitlement towards the this entitled spirit about what it is that they're asking for. And because you've conditioned people to believe that you're always going to be giving, and this isn't just money, this is energy, this is time, this is whatever resource you have. Because you condition people to be okay with you doing certain things, it makes them entitled. It makes them feel entitled or obligated to whatever it is that you have. And because you've conditioned people to feel this way, you've also conditioned yourself to feel like you have to do certain things because you've always done it. And then now you don't feel okay with not doing it because you've always done it. So think of it like this: like, let's say you have a plate of food. I know all of us probably, if you suffer from having these people pleasing tendencies. So let's say you have a plate of food, right? And your plate of food, you got everything on your plate, whatever. And somebody come up to you, they want something from you. They want something from your plate, right? And you cool, you like everybody, welcome. Everyone's welcome. Come get some. It's something to go around for everyone. But before you know it, everyone has grabbed every single thing off of your plate before you've gotten a chance to even eat off of your own plate. And then you look down and you just like, damn, like I just let him take it all. Like, I mean, I just gave it all away for real, for real. And you get sad and you start to build like this resentment towards people because you you're giving, constantly giving. And sometimes people don't even know that that they're taking your last. Sometimes people don't even know that they're taking from you because you've always given, right? And you feel guilty for not giving. And you feel guilty. It's like you feel guilty all around. You feel like the sense of shame, like, yo, I can help, but this is my last or whatever. And you'll give your last. And you start to wear that cape for everyone. You start to wear that cape like, yo, I'm always the person that's gonna look out for you or whatever. But then you turn around and you end up with nothing for yourself. You have nothing to give to yourself. Your cup is empty. There's nothing dropping in your cup. Your plate is empty. There's nothing to eat from. There's nothing left for you. So you've given everything essentially to everyone around yourself and completely forgot about yourself. And now you have like these negative feelings in your heart. You're building up resentment towards people they don't even know. And it's like once you get into this space where you don't feel okay with your no, or you don't have boundaries around, you don't have any boundaries, so you don't know how to tell people no, you begin to put yourself in these like this on these spaces of dishonesty. And you might be like, well, I'm not a liar or anything like that, but anytime that you say yes when you want to say no, you're being dishonest because you don't want to say no. And then now your heart posture is different about how it is that you're giving because you didn't want to give to begin with. And then it's like this here with me. What really helped me start being okay with saying no was this light bulb went off, right? I was watching these motivational videos, and this video came up, and it said no is a complete sentence. And at first, I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, to me, that's foreign because my no always came with an explanation. My no always felt like I needed permission. My no always felt like I needed approval. My no always felt like it had to be valid. Like, so there were times when I would say no, but essentially, like, I wasn't standing behind my no, if that makes sense. So my no, I'm sitting there, I'm curating lies and excuses and explanations so that I felt like my no was okay to give to someone in order for it to be fine for me to say no. So it's like, okay, I want to say no, but I can't say no because I don't want to. I have to say no, and my no has to be valid because then I have something to fall back on to hold me up and give me that courage and that strength to be able to stand behind it, right? At the end of the day, when um when you don't want to do something, and I know it's easier said than done, but it's something that you have to practice day in and day out. From the small no's to the big no's. This is an assignment that my therapist gave me. Start saying no to the something small, something big. But I had already began started to say no, but I still had that feeling in my heart where I felt guilty. I felt like I had to have an excuse for my no instead of just saying no. And here's the thing: if you want to say no, yo, and you remember that no is a complete sentence, you don't owe anybody an explanation, an excuse behind why you don't want to give them something that is your research, your resource. You don't want to give up your resource. You don't have to give up your resource. You're not obligated to give up your resource, unless it is your obligation per se. But if it's not your obligation to do something, you don't have to do it. So it's like start exercising that right. It's your right, it's your free will. You have your own permission, you have your own validation, you have your own approval, your own self, your own inner. Like your inner is screaming. Your body literally like has a response within itself when it comes down to you doing things, right? So when you say yes, you feel that tension in your heart. You feel like the different feelings, whatever you feel, everybody might not feel the same thing. But I know me, when I want to say no and I say yes, I start to get like this little feeling in my chest. That resentment starts to build. And it's not fair to you and it's not fair to other people to have um these things happen. So it's like once you start to be okay with the fact that my no is okay, and our brains, it's so crazy how our brain works, right? So our brain will literally have us feeling like we're in a life or death situation. Like our brain will have us feeling like we're in fight or flight mode. Like you'll literally freeze up behind something as simple as saying no to something that you don't want to do. And it's like looking back on the times where I wanted to say no, but I said yes because I just did not want to deal with the discomfort that came from that. I sort of like laugh a little bit. And I laugh in a sense like I really created a mental prison for myself. Like I really created a cage for myself. Like I had myself building up negative emotions. I had myself feeling burnt out, exhausted. I had myself in spaces where I was just giving. Just I was giving too much of myself, all because facing the discomfort of saying no, it it felt better to go through that. It felt better to experience that than the discomfort from that no. And and that's really what changed my mindset around my boundary as it pertains to no. When I started saying no and assessing, okay, what happened? Like the sense of relief that you feel when you finally do it. And then you realize like the whole world is not tumbling down. Like the whole world, everything is still intact. The time is still moving. I'm not dead. Like they didn't die. Breath still in my body. I'm still walking. I'm still speaking. I'm still working. I'm still doing everything that I'm still able to do everything that I've been able to do. I still have a waking moment, right? And once I realized that when you say no, that A person might be mad at you. They might be upset. They might not talk to you. That's just information. But just know that you're not the end all be all for someone. People gonna figure it out. They have to figure it out. They have no choice but to figure it out. It's not your responsibility to figure things out for people. It's not your responsibility to be someone's scapegoat. It's not your responsibility to enable people. It's not your responsibility to fix someone else's irresponsibility. So, whenever it comes down to someone asking you for whatever resource it is that you have, someone else's emergency or someone else's urgency isn't your emergency. So, the next time that someone tries to place something on you and then they turn around and they try to use guilt in order to coerce you into doing something against what it was that you originally said, remember that it's not your responsibility to fix or be the solution to someone's problem every single time. Shit is not your responsibility a single time. You do it out of the kindness of your heart, or you should be doing things out of the kindness of your heart, not because you feel forced, you feel like your hands are tied, you feel like your back is against the wall. So don't let nobody place that burden onto you. That's unfair. That's very unfair and it's very manipulative. Um, and also remember, y'all, that you can change. You can change your ways. You can change your way of doing things. You can change your patterns. You can change your behaviors. You can change your habits. So don't force yourself into this box of this is how I've always been. And don't allow someone to force you into staying in that box as well. Because you can change those ways about yourself. And you don't owe anyone anything. The only person you owe something to is yourself and your obligations. It's okay to choose you. And I don't know what thoughts you've adopted over these years, and I don't know what any of y'all have been through, but it's okay to choose yourself. You don't have to be held captive by others' expectations of you. You don't have to be held captive by your conditioning or the way that you conditioned yourself to be and adopt that mindset of this is how I've always been, so this is how I always have to be. No, you can change. Don't let nobody box you in. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing you or choosing not to engage in whatever it is that they want for you to engage into. And it's gonna be a process, y'all. It's gonna be a process. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be hard at times, but the more you do it, the more you get your reps in, the easier it'll become. And just know that you have to be the change and see the change, yo. So, and like I always say at the end of every video, I'm not your therapist. In fact, I'm not my own therapist. I'm not a guru. I'm just a person that is actively doing the work in real time. And I'm using this channel to document my growth, my experiences, the lessons I've learned along the way, my lifestyle, and the ways that I go about becoming or cultivating a life that I can be happy about, a life that I can enjoy, a life that I feel is very fulfilling. And I'm hoping that the messages that I put out there, they get to whoever is meant to get to, um, and I hope that is able to help people out there. So subscribe, and I'll see y'all next video.